Hello and welcome to the Val Analysts. That's Twitter at Val Analysts. I am VeggieHD and joined with me here today is Kai. How are we, Kai?
I'm great, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really excited to start this project with you, Veggie. Been wanting to do a podcast for a long time. I believe you have been as well. Both very passionate about Valorant and both very passionate about esports. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content we're doing, and hopefully we expect to see you guys in the chatting with us. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Basically, the basic premise of this podcast is we're going to be talking about all things Valorant, from esports, strategies, agents, everything coming up. We are going to be starting off today just by introducing ourselves a little bit, going into the VCT format, and then of course we have a big event coming up, which is the lock-in, which I am very excited to see. You know, first big tournament of the year is where everyone gets to get a little playground together. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. But you want to introduce yourself? Who are you? What are you? What are you all about?
So I'm Kai. I'm currently an economics student. Just doing part-time casting because basically I went to Insomnia last year and saw it, and I was like, yep, that's what I want to do. Fell in love with it, and then I've fallen more in love with it as I've done it more and more. So I've casted in the AVG League and the tournament, did some analytical work alongside Veggie in said tournament. And I regularly do on Goose House and occasionally for British Esports. So yeah, that's basically me. What about you, Veggie?
Yeah, my name is VeggieHD, aka Veggie, aka Max, whatever you want to call me. It's a long list of names that I've got. I've kind of picked up Valorant, I want to say last year, coming across as my first FPS since playing on console, so picking up a PC was kind of quite difficult to get used to, but fell in love with the game. Very much become an addict quickly. In terms of casting experience, I seen Bean from Skelp posted out looking for casters for the AVG League, which is obviously where I bumped into good old Kai here. So that was my first time coming into casting. Got to get a bit of a decent experience throughout that. Loaded into the beacons with Kai on the analytic desk, joined in doing some of the Goose House tournaments as well, and kind of led from there. And it's been a really good experience with opened my eyes, and especially in terms of the analytical point of view of how teams are approaching things, which is kind of what's led us into this podcast. And that's in terms of both of us have an interest in sort of breaking down how the teams work, how they're going about the maps, and what they're going to be going into. So yeah, that's me. We also have a passion for the sort of British side of the undercards as well, so to speak. So we will be discussing as much as the VCT. We'll also be discussing a lot of the UK amateur games, because that's kind of where we both come from in terms of caster points of view.
Yeah, exactly that. We also feel there's not really a lot of coverage on the UK games in the sense of like analytics, so we thought we'd kind of like help out with that. And UK esports is an untapped sort of gem of esports. Like, there's so much potential it could be. People keep on saying this is so good, and like there's just no one there to really bring it up. So we're trying to play our part. Yeah,
of course. We enjoy watching it. We enjoy casting it. So we want you to enjoy watching it, and you to enjoy listening to us talk about it. Of course, that's the goal here, right? We want you guys to enjoy listening to us take our probably incorrect views and pass them over to you. But that's what we're here for. So to start off, I think if we kind of open up on the VCT format and how that is kind of working this year. Obviously, it's different from before this year. We're going into franchising, so a lot of different teams involved into that one. It should be. What's your expectations coming into sort of VCT throughout the year?
So you've also got your expected teams like Fnatic, Na'Vi, Team Liquid that should have been franchised. G2, which didn't get franchised, but is going to Ascension League in NA now. Basically, and you've got a mix of those teams and B-tier teams, along with BBL, FUT. So I'm kind of expecting a bit of a mix-up and a bit of a mash-up compared to what we've usually seen in the past couple of events, in the sense that you just had your usual big hitters, whereas in this one we've got these David versus Goliath storylines. We have the potential for a couple of upsets, and I'm expecting to see a bit more fluidity with strats rather than just having one straight meta. So be really excited to see what happens with that in VCT.
Yeah, of course. So, like you said, there's lots coming into this. It's especially coming into sort of the first tournament, which we will get on to, which is the lock-in, which is going to have a lot more together. But we will be focusing on mostly the EMEA side of things. Both of us on that sort of side of the map. It makes more sense for us to focus on those ones as they're a lot closer to home. Which kind of makes a lot of things coming into it. So we've got the top 5 teams and the bottom 5 teams which are going to play throughout the sort of tournament. If you want to, actually no, I'll take the lead on this one. So we both kind of took 5 teams here and talked about who was going in. So I have Koi, Navi, Heretics, Liquid, and Vitality. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm actually quite a fan of quite a lot of these teams.
Yeah, you've got like the prime. You got like Koi obviously ex-Rogue. Now Navi picked up FPX. I'm sure you'll explain them all. Liquid's got some incredible talent in there, and Vitality as well. Heretics probably the less of the teams, but still an incredible team nevertheless. I'm picking up BBL, Fnatic, Foot, Giants, and Carmine. Obviously, Fnatic second ranked in the world, and I absolutely love Fnatic, UK sort of based organisation. I say based. That's a Swedish organisation who's just got headquarters in the UK. So, is it really UK? It's the only representation we have, so we kind of hold on to it as much as possible. BBL and Foot both sort of not. I wasn't really expecting them. I'm not expecting them to do much in VCT. BBL is a Turkish team. They had some success in B tier events, winning Turkey Challenges 2 in 2021, and the Open Fire All-Stars tournament in 2021 as well. But they finished 7th to 8th in the EMEA Challenges in 2022, both times in the split. Their roster consists of Aslan. If I pronounce these wrong, I'm really sorry. Kushina, Turco, who's an ex-Supermassive Blaze player, Brave, ex-Supermassive Blaze player, Suchi. I'll put the names up on the screen. I'm probably butchering them, I do apologise. And that player is also an ex-Supermassive Blaze player. And then you last but not least, you have AIM DLL. Obviously, kind of a bit of a mash-up of ex-Supermassive Blaze and the old BBL team. I'm just not really expecting them to do much. I'm kind of seeing them as a bottom team, one of the top 5 teams at the moment. But yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So the first team I'm going to talk about is Koi, who kind of have a really good lineup as well, to be honest. Coldamenta, always known for just being able to come into teams and hold them together and get them a lot further than kind of expected. Shados, Trex, Wolfen, and Starksco. They have kind of got an up and down sort of together. I'm just having a look. So LVP Crossfire Cup, they did get beat from Heretics, who I will come on and talk about. Came second in the Red Bull Home Ground number 3 EMEA qualifiers, getting beat of BIG. But they have managed to win the VRL 2022 Spain Rising Stage 2 demotion against Real Betis, who we won't be talking about today, because we just won't be. And previously, sort of last year, losing to Team Vitality as well. So, like I said, coming up and down, but new team coming into this, be looking to get a lot out of it. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, Coldamenta coming into this always has a strong impact on the teams that they join. So it should be good. The next one is Navi. Now, Navi, never really a team that I've looked out for, but now that they've picked up this FBX roster and swapped out Ardis, who, by the way, is an insane player, and probably going to do some insane bits this year coming up, but replaced Ardis with CNED, which is huge. So you put this sort of gunpowder that you've seen from FBX previous champions coming into this. It was probably one of the biggest shocks that we didn't see this team like together coming into a tournament again. But replacing Ardis with CNED should... I feel like if you're going to replace someone with a gunpowder of Ardis and replace him with CNED, you're not losing much, right? It's one of those, like, you think you lose Ardis, you're like, oh, god damn it, but then CNED comes in, it kind of equals it out. Hopefully, we'll still get to see them overly play too much together. So Navi, certainly a big team with Angel, Shao, Zipan, Shigetsu, and CNED. And then your next one's who? Your Stan Boaster Fnatic?
Oh, I'm a massive Fnatic. Boaster, I think, he's such a big brain time, but you Fnatic don't really need an introduction. I mean, they had a disappointing finish in VCT, so my camera's just completely... I'm trying to get the lighting, it's just not working in my house. But disappointing finish in VCT. I think we can all agree. They didn't really... They had the potential. Mystic, Enzo, they had an incredible roster. And watching Mystic and Enzo in the Polaris tournament, I mean, their team is absolutely dominating there. It's just unfortunate enough that they just couldn't do it. It could be, I'm kind of liking it to Astralis in the sense that they had the quarterfinals curse. You had an insane roster, but they just for some unknown reason, the mental block, they just couldn't get past the quarterfinals, and I'm expecting Fnatic to go into their Astralis era almost, of just winning everything, dominating. They are currently ranked second, and really, I mean, we kind of like expect them to be a Goliath of EMEA with the pickup of Leo and Chronicle. Leo coming from X Guild, he's a support player with a massive fragging ability, and Chronicle X Mech player, really strong duelist. But I did have a thought that if we're bringing Chronicle in, who has been playing the duelists, we also have Durka, who has basically just a Jet Chamber Raze sort of player, who takes up this duelist kind of mantle. I know Durka's, you could play double duelist on some maps, but it'd be interesting to see what sort of roster and what agent compositions they pick. Alpha, yeah, I just want to shout at him. He is an incredibly young player. I think is he 18? I believe something along those lines. He's
very young. Yeah.
Incredibly young. I'm expecting him to be like one of the standout players, especially for his young age.
For sure.
Yeah. And then my third team is Foot. So there's another Turkish roster, currently ranked 5th in Europe. They had a standout year last year. They did really, really well. They had 3 back-to-back tournaments they've won. It was a B10, A10, a qualifier for the Red Bull home grounds. But they had a disappointing end to the last year, not making any top 5 positions in any A-tier competitions. Their roster consists of Mojo, QRax, QW1, QE, Mr. Fallen, Atta Captain, who was picked up from Thunderbolts last year. They kind of kept the same roster from middle of last year. So interesting to see how that plays out. I don't think they need to change anything. I think they just need to get a system in which they're comfortable with, so they can dominate. But I think they have the potential to do some David versus Goliath stories. I don't think BBL is that team, but I think Foot is definitely that team.
Okay, interesting. So, next up for me is Team Heretics, who have once again another really strong team. I feel like I'm going to be saying this for everyone that I'm going to be talking about here. But you've got a decent mix of some of the old G2 teams. So you've picked up Avova and Maxwell, so you've already got some decent chemistry in there as well. You've got the Polish players Zeke, Kellogg's and Boo all together. If I just pull up where they have been recently. I've pressed the wrong button here. Team Heretics. Here we go. Sorry, I've had it all loaded up and then I've clicked off it. So recently they have not done a whole lot. They did lose to Team Vitality in the Red Bull Homeground number 3. The first time I sort of seen this team put together as a unit was in the Valorant India Invitational, where they were in the final versus Paper Rex, and it kind of stood out to me here. They did get beat 3-1, sorry, but I mean none of the matches were like that bad. I don't think there was like a 13-8 in there, a 13-10. And altogether, it was just like close rounds from my point of view of watching it. So I'm excited to see what these teams can put together when they're coming into the stage that we're going to get to see them on. And then obviously next up, Team Liquid, a team that I'm sure you'll probably be talking about coming up into Carmine Corp, but a team that kind of had an insane gunpowder last year in the tournaments, and it was almost like individual talent rather than great team play. I'm not saying that they weren't a great team. However, it seemed like each player was more a massive individual player. So you've kind of almost got rid of that. You've kept in Yampi, picked up Solcas, Nats, Safe and Redgar. And honestly, that's just such a stacked lineup. Like Redgar is incredible, Nats is just insane. And obviously Solcas does Solcas still with Liquid from before as well. So we know what to expect from them. And then Yampi, we've seen all of Yampi's clips all over the place. Like, it's just shots that shouldn't be winning, and then Safe getting picked up from Guild. So a very, very good unit here. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of work together as a team, but I'm expecting very big things from Team Liquid coming into this year.
Yeah, Team Liquid, sort of, as you said, they were individualistic based, and they just had tons of potential fragging power. It kind of reminded me of just trying to build a super team like FaZe has done in CSGO so many times, and I'm not really... Before this last year in CSGO, they weren't really succeeding, but now they are. So super teams may or may not work. But getting on to Giants for me, Spanish organisation, mixture of nationals, different teams, different players from different areas of Europe representing them. They've had some success in the B tier scene, but with the onboarding of Nuki and Hoodie from G2, I'm expecting them to bring this firepower they have with the Rays on. It's a shame Bind's been taken out, which we'll discuss later on, because Nuki on Rays on Bind was something, it's just pure bliss to watch, and really expecting them to challenge the top teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they get top 5. I'm expecting, with the talent we have in this league, it's going to be really hard to even break top 4. So if they get 5th, I'll be very, very happy if they get that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they see a couple of upsets from them. They did 2-0 BBL last time they faced each other. They weren't like absolute dominations. It was 13-8, 13-9. So just a really solid win for Giants there. So as I mentioned, we got Hoodie, Nuki, both from old G2. Then we got Rhyme, who was on the original NIP roster, who then went to Gen G and now on Giants. Cloud, who's an ex-Na'Vi player. And then Fitino is the only one who's remaining from the old Giants roster. And then last but not least, we have Carmine. Carmine Corpse picking up the 2 brothers from Liquid there, which is Scream and Nevera. Incredible players. We said that their individualistic just skill is just insane. So this is a French organisation being represented by majority French, and you've got 2 players from Belgium. They have some young talent, in the sense you've got Shin and Nuzera, who's quite young, but they're currently unproven. But with the addition of Scream and Nevera, it kind of adds a bit of experience, adds a bit of maturity to the team. So I'm expecting them that to help the young players bolster and be better overall. And I would sort of put them on the same line as Giants, in the sense you've got 2 absolute fraggers and you've got a couple of unproven players around them. So be excited to see how these 2 teams come out.
Yeah, that's pretty much fair enough. Carmine Corp's certainly going to be an interesting one to watch this year and see how Scream and Nevera adapt into that new team. But last but not least for our side, at least on the EMEA, is Team Vitality, who have kept 2 of their previous players and then brought in another 3. So they've got Sender, Bone Cold, Malsey, Destrian and Twiston. So previously, sort of the last time I'm looking at them when they were playing here was in the Valorant Regional League's finals, which they unfortunately fell in the final to FUT Esports 3-2. Interestingly enough, the playoff MVPs that they had here was Bone Cold and Sender, whereas the group stage was Natak and Hyber. So kind of a mix, it seems, through the Sender and Bone Cold. The 2 players that have stayed have seemed to be the ones that come up clutch further down the line. So we're certainly going to be looking to see what Mosley, Destrian and Twiston can bring in. Mosley coming in here from kind of a large mix of teams, has played twice now for Team Vitality under the Red Bull Homeground and the G-Lit Clash finals, whereas Destrian coming in from, once again, a sort of mix of teams there. So interesting to see how this team gets put together, but Team Vitality's always been one of those that pop up a little bit and then don't deliver, I want to say. No disrespect meant, but they're always there, but never at the front of the show. So it'll be interesting to see this year if they can sort of take themselves to the next level with this new lineup and deliver. And I think at least in the lock-in we might see some of this. Maybe not going full throughout the year, but definitely throughout the lock-in we might just about come up with this.
Yes, I'm currently trying to do a tier list so we can sort out these teams at the moment.
Okay.
Get it up. Just give me a sec.
Well, while you're getting that up, I'll just talk about the regular season and how this works. So basically, these EMEA teams play in the Valorant Champions Tour EMEA League, which kind of goes through a single round robin. All matches are a best of 3. Top 6 advance into the playoffs, and the bottom 4 are eliminated. The playoffs is a 6-team in a double elimination bracket, and then the top 3 kind of deserve their place and fight through into Masters. So first, second, third Masters qualify. So playing each other, obviously the round robin style, once against each other, and then that places them into the groups, kind of like what we're seeing with Polaris currently. And then throughout the playoffs, we see the top 3 teams progress. So we will discuss who we kind of think will get through these groups. So if you had to pick, assuming this is what you're doing into your tier list at the minute. Yeah. So we've got
yes. BBL here. We've got a couple of. I'll put all on the D tier now, so we can actually see the logos and stuff. So yeah, there we go. Yeah. So as I said, yeah. So are we expecting just Na'Vi and Fnatic just up top there?
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. I wouldn't argue.
And so if we just go straight from what we were doing there, Foot for me, second team. I'm kind of in between B and C here. I don't think they're going to be an A team. I would want them to be a B team. BBL definitely for me. This team here is going to stay a D team. I don't think they're going to.
Throwing shade right off the bat. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't see. They got a quite young roster, quite unproven. So I don't. And against like these, again, as we said, the individuals on these teams, just way too good. I don't see any chance of BBL kind of pushing that.
Yep, that's fair.
For you, for your teams, Koi, Liquid, Heretics, Vitality.
Yeah, I think standing out straight for me. I mean, obviously you've put Navi up there. I think I really want to say that Team Liquid going to be right up the top. Honestly, Soulcast, Yampi, Nat, Safe, and Redgar. I'd commit to at least putting them A tier. I think just looking at that just screams so much success. And I think Heretics proven that they can come in big. I spoke about them coming close to beating Paper X. Obviously, a phenomenal team. That's just a little bit of bias coming in from a Paper X stand here. So just ignore that. But also having lost to Team Vitality in the Red Bull home ground, so maybe base that a little bit. Maybe they're going to be slightly further down. So I think probably A or B is probably safe for them. We can go B.
B for now. Okay, so Carmine, we have the additional Scream. I don't think they're going to be above Liquid. I think they're same sort of area of Heretics, as you said, potential upset. So I wouldn't be completely against putting them behind Heretics here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Perfect. Simple. Koi.
Koi, I mean, Koi, I don't think that. So let's look at it from the top down. Koi certainly coming into this aren't on top with Navi and Fnatic, right? They're just not there. Do I think that they're? Oh no! Oh, it's saved. Phew, it's saved. Panic over, viewers. Panic over. Coming into it, do I think they're same level as Team Liquid? No, I don't. Into the B tier, I mean, there's definitely an argument for it. However, I think I might be favoured into putting them into the C tier.
Okay. Why? Any reason?
Honestly, just so we have someone in there. Further down as well. Yeah, I think I'd probably lean towards that as well.
Yeah, I don't think they're Foot's on the same level as them. Vitality. I'm thinking A tier here.
A tier? Oh wow.
Yeah, I think it might be surprised. You know, I think it might be. I don't know. It's your team.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it, right? I just literally just said how they beat Heretics in the Red Bull home ground, but Red Bull home ground was one of these tournaments where teams are still kind of getting used to each other. So, by all means, there's definitely an argument to be made to put them above Heretics because they have history against beating Heretics recently. So, yeah, I'll side with you there. I'll agree. I
think nice. So, guys, if you have any qualms with this or any problems, take it off us. This is valorant. It's not be all and end all. It's not black and white. There's obviously it's a game. So you have sort of it's like football. Anything can happen. Yeah,
there's a lot to come into this. A lot of these rosters are fairly fresh. I mean, I don't think I might be slightly wrong here, but I don't think many of these teams, if any, have kept their base roster. So a lot of stuff coming into this, looking at how the teams sort of adapt and gel together, playing throughout the matches. And of course, like I said, it's everyone against each other. So one team has the ability to upset a couple, which then can throw things off of sort of the guard you would expect coming into the group stage results. So there's certainly a lot of potential backfiring for some of these teams in the league outfit.
Any young players you're looking out for? I know I mentioned Alpha Air. From your side of Koi, Navi, Heretics, Liquid, and Vitality, is anyone you kind of want to highlight before we head into VCT EMEA?
I mean, I'm not sure about young, but yeah, no, I mean, he is young, right? I mean, I'm fucking 28, turning 29, so everyone to me is young. But Nats at age 20, that's still young to me. I don't know if that's young to you, but I'm pulling that as a young one for me.
I'm in third year university and I feel old. I don't know why, I just do. It just...
No, understandable. Yeah, wait till you're hitting close to 30, and then you'll you'll really feel it. But yeah, Nats, I think, is one of these players that really has the potential to stand out. There's a lot of hype coming in about the player. I think a lot of proven stuff. I see quite a lot of people using Nats' training routine to try and improve themselves. Obviously, coming from CS:GO, done well under the teams that they've been under before as well. So I think there's for sure a lot of hype coming in from that. Sorry, on my side of things, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. Beside the whole Navi squad, so that's not age related, but yeah, 100%. That's where I'm laying my cards down.
Yeah, 100%. So with all of this happening, we've got the lock-in happening very, very soon.
Yes.
I think it's February 13th. This goes out February 2nd, I believe. So with the lock-in, we're going to do pick'ems. We're going to quickly just sort this out. Pick'ems up. You've did a nice little...
Yes, I've got the link for the
do
team.
You
So
yeah.
Yes, I can share my screen. Yes, that would work.
Yeah.
Bam, go live. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So this won't be getting picked up by any camera, but anyway, we will add this in after so that you have the visual effect of what we were looking at. So the lock-in in Sao Paulo in Brazil is the first sort of tournament where we're going to see a lot of these teams that we've just spoke about. The format, 32 team single elimination bracket. All matches, excluding the semi-finals and grand finals, are a best of 3. Semi-finals and grand finals are a best of 5. First place, a total of $100,000. That's a lot of money on the line for these teams
really
coming into this tournament. I certainly wouldn't turn down that. And the biggest note on this one, which is going to be spoke about a fair bit probably, is that the winner grants the region an extra slot for Masters at 2023. So although this is sort of the first tournament that we're getting to see in sort of the biggest aspect, and it is a different aspect that we're going to see in terms of the single elimination knockouts.
Yep.
However, the winner does get to get the region an extra slot. So, I mean, let's, for theory, say Fnatic win this. However, they were to come fourth in their league, they would be basically qualifying themselves in. So you give your region an extra slot, but also gives yourself a better chance of qualifying for Masters because you have that extra slot, right?
Yeah.
Which is something that's always good. Now, I believe this is the largest Valorant event that we've seen
so far,
coming into this as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's fantastic. The absolute growth of Valorant has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, starting from 2022, and then obviously COVID, so everyone sort of got into it. But I mean, the viewership, everything. I think what lends it is just the fact that we have just the agents, and it's a different aspect to CS:GO. It's just.
Yep.
It's just better, you know.
I agree. I think it is. But I've never really played CS:GO, so my opinion doesn't really matter.
I love CS:GO. Absolutely love it. Got me into PC gaming, but Valorant is just beautiful. So pick'ems for, if you scroll down, I think you can have pick'ems. The pick'ems thing. Yes. Here we go.
I don't think this one works. Don't think it lets you move people through.
I think you just click on the name. Do you? Was that?
No, that just brings it up.
I'll send you a link because I can't do it because I've already done my pick'ems ages ago. So unfortunately, my account won't let me do it. There we go. Copy. Paste. There we go.
Perfect. Right.
But yes.
Cool. Here we go. Cool. Right. So first up, Koi versus Energy Esports. Oof. Oh, I've done the wrong thing here. Right, so who have you got coming through? Koi versus NRG.
Koi straight up. I think NRG really could do it, but I just don't see. I think.
I don't know. You know, I think you might be wrong.
I could. Well, yeah. Look, yeah. NRG, incredible team. Absolutely love them. So I'm very happy for you to put NRG down. I just have a EMEA bias. I think.
I get that. I do. I hear it. But NRG just have such a nice roster.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah. And then going down, I don't think Destination is going to do anything. I think it's just going to be straight up Giants gaming.
Straight up Giants. Yeah, I agree on that one.
Yeah.
And then
Loud.
Yeah.
There's no chance for Gen G. What's Loud? Incredible team. I've got them. Little spoiler. I've got them going all the way to qualified.
Oh, even with some of the changes.
Even with some of the changes, I think Loud.
Interesting.
Oh, proper up there. Against Fun Plus Phoenix versus Carmine. With the old Fun Plus Phoenix roster, I would put Fun Plus Phoenix. But it's not the old Fun Plus Phoenix roster. It's the new
the new Chinese roster who have been doing very well, and have been set to be the new face of Chinese Valorant. Obviously, Valorant previously not been allowed in China. Now it's been brought in, which is why Fun Plus Phoenix have come into this. But I mean, yeah, I'll side with Carmine Corp.
Yeah, Carmine Corp. I think it'd be interesting to see because this is basically just them proving themselves that this roster will work. And I think Scream and Nevada are brothers. You can't get any better chemistry than that. I generally think they'll just absolutely. I think those two will be stand-up players. BBL versus DRX. There's no DRX.
Yeah, we'll just got DRX on there. Yeah, that's easy choice. It's not even a. Now, I mean, it's a question, but still.
It's BBL just not going to. There's no chance that they're going to beat DRX. I mean, DRX is so good. I absolutely love watching them play, and there's too good of a team. Cloud9 versus PaperX. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
this is a tough one. This is like final material without like gaslighting this too much. This is a final that you could potentially see in the future. Cloud9 obviously bringing in such a big roster this year with the sort of the franchising and everything that's come through.
But who's that IGL? They don't have the IGL. It's what they.
This is true. Yeah, we've seen them flop. We did see them flop.
Rounds, these weren't good, but it was a bit of a. It's a good tournament, but it doesn't really mean much, so people can't take the mick a bit. But I would put PaperX through on this one.
I'm repping the PaperX jersey. I'm repping PaperX the full way.
I think it's coming in. Just such a unique team, and the DRX versus PaperX matchup will be insane. I also absolutely love Ben Kai and his IGL. I think it's absolutely incredible. Heretics versus Evil Geniuses. Depends on what roster Evil Geniuses want, because they want like 10 men for a 5-man roster.
Yeah, true.
A really good point from Platchat that I heard was that how are they supposed to formulate strategies if they don't know which player's going to play? Like you just can't. So I think Heretics will, as you put down there, will win. And MIBR versus Talon Esports. I think the home crowd buff will put MIBR in front of Talon here.
I'm on side for that one. Yeah, of course. Shall we finish this qualifier before moving on to the...
Yeah, because we've got a lot to talk about the other qualifier. The big teams, another one. I think NRG beat Giants, personally speaking. But it could be an upset. It could be a massive, massive upset.
There's a potential,
in the sense that...
For sure.
Yeah, but I think NRG, if we're talking about like sensible picks, NRG, and then I think Loud's going to beat Carmine. I don't see how Carmine...
I think so too, yeah. I think Carmine will have a good match if they can make it past FPX, but I think Loud have shown before how strong they are, despite losing some of their better players.
Yeah.
I think they definitely have the potential to come in here and make it far here as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think also they've let's go.
Yeah, you've got DRX versus PaperX in this next one. I mean, DRX and PaperX have given up some really good matches previously.
Yeah, I think it's going to be DRX, personally speaking. I think I love PaperX. I know you're pained right now. But
No, I can't do it.
oh, okay. If you want paper, we can do coin flip. If you want.
Okay, do you have a coin?
I can just get one on. If you want to do it online, you can just go coin flip online.
Okay, right.
But basically, it is a coin flip. But I think DRX have the. I love paper. I love Paper X so much. Tails is Paper X. Heads is DRX.
Okay, right.
Go.
It's heads.
Yeah, DRX.
Oh,
It is I would love to see Paper X, but I just it's DRX is just the artists are such good. Again, you mentioned with Cloud9 versus Paper X, could be final quality. DRX versus Paper X is like again final quality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, so could DRX versus Cloud9, depending on how Cloud9 come into this. So it's.
I'll tell you what. If BBL get past into semi-finals, I will just. I don't know. I'll do it. It's just, I'll show you my head off. Hair off. Like
no, you're not going that far. No.
Because they just like having to beat DRX and then either Cloud9 or Paper X. I
feel that. Yeah, of course. Anyway, Team Heretics versus MIVR. I want to say Heretics. I think Heretics could do it.
In my pick'ems, I have Heretics to do it. The crowd buff could work.
Yeah. And it is Brazil. Brazil are notorious for having such a good crowd, good noise, getting behind their team.
Realistically, both teams are probably going to lose DRX, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
we'll do MIBR.
Yeah. MIBR. I do think the crowd buff is going to kind of like allow them to kind of take a bit more of what they would usually do. And I think it's going to be loud.
Yeah, in the semi-finals we've got NRG Esports versus Loud. I also agree Loud.
Yeah.
Should probably get past there.
Yeah. DRX versus MBR. I think MBR's going to die. Well, not die. The whole team. Catastrophic bomb.
Yeah.
No.
No. I think DRX make it past that one. Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Okay.
Now, this is the big one. This is where we have so many insane teams. This is the group of death, all of them. Other than
especially with it being single elimination, right? This is where a lot of things come through to it. But we start off in the round of 16 here. We've got Team Liquid versus Team Secret. I think it has to be Liquid.
I think I've got Liquid down. Yeah, Liquid. Yeah, 100%. I think a nice bit of proving grounds for them. Bit of an easy team to it's not an easy team. It's just a good team to beat. Like you can get a bit of confidence. They're going to give you a bit of a game. But it is you should win this. Na'Vi versus Crew. I don't think anyone's beating Na'Vi. Just because they're CNED, and then the whole roster from FBX is just insane.
Crew still have. I just want to have a check at this Crew squad. Active, Klaus, Nags, Exxon, Davies, Melson. I
think it's
I think Na'Vi come through that one.
100%. Zeta versus Defiant.
This is a strong matchup in itself. We've seen both of these teams perform well at Masters, Champions, etc. I'm leaning towards Zeta.
Yeah, I would put Zeta down as well. Again, look, these sort of like bracket here with Zeta, Defiant, Vitality, and Global Esports is not a strong thing. Realistically speaking, I just don't think any of these teams are going to get qualifiers, but it's good that they're going to get experience, and it's very lucky that they can get matches in. So I do think it's going to be Zeta. Yeah.
Zeta, okay, cool. We'll go with that. We'll roll. Team Vitality versus Global Esports.
Yeah, Vitality. I don't think there's
Vitality.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance.
We don't need to talk too much.
Versus Rex. I think Foot. Mainly because I think that if we're talking in the VCT EMEA, that they are going to be sort of challenging the top teams in the sense that they have some potential to do so. They're going to be expected to win against Rex Regum. So yeah, I'm putting them as there. Now, 100 Thieves is Edward Gaming. Edward Gaming, oh my god, they had some insane plays. So, I mean, 100 Thieves, they won Red Bull home grounds.
And they looked good.
They're very, very, very good, and I don't see them losing.
Oh, thank God! Right, okay, that's fine. I thought I was going to argue with it. I thought you were going
to. No. I'm crazy, but I'm not like apocalyptic crazy. Edward Gaming, I don't see going to beat 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves, bang! I think it's going to be a standout player. His smoking ability and his plays. Again, on Bind as well. It's such a shame that the map's gone out. He's had some insane plays. So I just want to, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Edward Gaming have given us some really good matches to watch and sort of play through. They kind of shocked a lot of people with how well they'd done previously, but yeah, 100 Thieves just look far too strong. That lineup's just incredible. What we've seen from them in home grounds was really good. And that brings us into Sentinels versus Fnatic.
Alright, so this is like grand finals. Like, I think wasn't it literally the first ever global? I think it was in Reykjavik. Yeah, I think so. It was Sentinels versus Fnatic in the final. If I'm not mistaken, ages ago. Sentinels did win, unfortunately. But that's when they had. That
was when Sentinels were in their prime, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that was when they obviously had everyone performing to their best, and recently Sentinels haven't been that force that they were, which is why you've seen the split in the roster becoming kind of, from what a lot of people would say, like clout chasers. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's what you'll certainly get a lot of people of saying, that Sentinels were more focused on that sort of clout kind of thing, which is why there was that peak bit of Twitter drama recently between them and like the Shroud incident and stuff, which I think Shroud gave himself a really good showing in the matchups. However, we do have a new roster.
Yeah,
Fnatic still as strong as ever.
I think I don't really see Fnatic with Leo and Chronicle. I mean, you have Pancada, who is genuinely so
and Sassy.
They are tens of tens is insane. Can't forget about him. Pancada is just like him at the Red Bull home grounds was it? It was. I know it was him at the Ludwig Invitationals. I mean, I know it's like a bit of a content creator sort of tournament and doesn't really have any effect. Yeah, but I want to go Fnatic. I want to go Fnatic mainly because I just want them to win. Basically.
We'll side on the EMEA side. I will take the side of this. I think, regardless, this is going to be a really close matchup. I think it's brutal that we see both of them play together in the first instance, which once again is going to have probably quite a big impact on who actually wins the whole tournament, in my opinion. But because we're looking at this purely from an EMEA side point, we'll put Fnatic through.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree with everything there. T1 versus Furia. Recently, neither team are going to beat Sentinels Fnatic, but I think Furia. Maybe because
I was thinking
Brazil,
that
too. Bit of the fans will be behind them, and basically just allowing them to be better. So Liquid versus Na'Vi.
It's tough, right? This is where we just spoke about how tough it was picking between Sentinels and Fnatic. I think it's almost as difficult picking between Team Liquid and Na'Vi. But for me, I was going to say Na'Vi, but honestly, it could be Team Liquid. I'm going to put my cards down. I'm going to say Na'Vi. No taking it back.
Go ahead, go straight for it. I think Na'Vi. I think if CNED fills in the role of Ardis, I don't see them losing to Team Liquid. Liquid have an incredible roster, but they are young. And I think the experience that Na'Vi have on the roster is just insane. I mean, they've won. The roster has won stuff in the past, whereas Liquid hasn't.
Yeah, so exactly. They've got the fundamentals. Yeah. They've got the teamwork. Besides, obviously bringing in CNED. Yeah, I think let's go with that logic. Na'Vi progress. Zeta Division versus Team Vitality.
I don't think. Zeta.
Very dismissive. Okay.
I just think Zeta they had a good run at Champions.
Yeah.
But I think Vitality with the new roster, as you kind of highlighted, just have the ability. I mean, on our tier list, they were pretty high up.
Yep.
And EMEA is a very, very strong region. I just don't
Yep.
think Zeta have the ability to beat Vitality.
Okay.
They have the potential. As always, there is potential for them to win.
Okay.
I know this is very strong from me, and I know Zeta fanboys might have a go, but I mean, if you disagree, yeah, that's fair enough.
No, I'll put Vitality through first. I'll put them through.
Basically, neither team are going to beat Na'Vi.
Yeah. I'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it brings us into FUT Esports versus 100 Thieves. I think we'll both probably agree. I'd be shocked if you weren't telling me that it's going to be FUT. No, I mean 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves, a top NA team. I think like number 1 ranked potentially. If I'm not mistaken. Quickly check.
Certainly would look strong enough coming in based off
Yeah.
of recent tournaments, like we said, with Red Bull Homegrounds and sort of the team that they've put together. I mean, I keep using the word roster, but that's because that's what it is. But
Yeah, they're number 1.
Asuna, Derek, Stellar, Cryo and Bang, just unbelievable team put together, all US based. They just look like they know what they're doing this year, and I certainly would expect big things from them.
Yeah, 100%. And I think FUT, as we said, potential to upset in EMEA. But if we're talking the top NA team who will challenge Fnatic, which I think we're going to put in the setup against Furia.
Yep. I think Fnatic beat Furia here, so we'll just jump that stage, to be fair. I think, Fnatic do go into versus 100 Thieves, and then that takes us to the semi-finals of Na'Vi versus Vitality. Are you still there? Oh, he's gone. We have our first mechanical error of the podcast.
So I don't really know what happened there. My Discord just completely shut down for some unknown reason.
It's fine. That'll be cut out post production.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Nice. It just shut down for. It literally went. Boom. I was like, oh, nice, lovely. But yeah. So Fnatic versus 100 Thieves. Yeah. I'm assuming you covered everything there. At least, Fnatic's going to go through against Furia.
Yep, 100%. I just skipped it. I just put Fnatic in. I don't think it's a discussion, to be honest. No disrespect to Furia, but it is what it is. Which, like I said, takes us into the semi-final of Na'Vi versus Team Vitality, an EMEA semi-final. One that it doesn't really matter for us who goes through because it's a strong team from our side regardless. However, I think it's going to be Na'Vi.
Yeah, I completely agree. Our list had them in the EMEA tier list. They were above and beyond Vitality. Vitality could have confidence in their veins, potential. As I always say, potential. But they really do have in this case. Na'Vi could slip up. May not be the integration with CNED not potentially gelling as well.
True.
But if you're beating Liquid, you're going to have confidence for your going through your veins. So I do think it's going to be Na'Vi, and then 100 Thieves versus Fnatic. This, I think, you could just a 30-minute conversation on this game alone. I think both teams are incredibly stacked. This will genuinely be one of the greatest games of Valorant in the entire year, I think. I can't say I want the EMEA bias with Fnatic going in, but I can't see it not being a tight game, and it genuinely could just come down to like a 1v1 because both teams they're both insane.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, if my scales were on, I'm kind of leaning more towards 100 Thieves, if I'm honest.
Okay, yeah.
Which is where I would be going with that. I think Fnatic do certainly have the potential to go through it, but with it being a single elimination challenge, I just think that 100 Thieves might just pull through here ahead of them. I don't know if you want to try and convince me to sway the other way.
I would say Fnatic, but that's literally just me being a Fnatic fanboy.
Okay.
So in my own personal opinion, I have put Fnatic down, but I wouldn't be mad with 100 Thieves if you want to put them down for our overall one, because they are. I looked at my screen before ending the pickup for like 5 minutes, just thinking, am I being biased because I love Fnatic, or is this like proper, like, is it true that they are a good team? They can beat 100 Thieves. It might just come down to who's just feeling more confident on the day.
Yeah, I'm going to go 100 Thieves just for to get rid of the bias that could potentially take place
with some fanboys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want to get you in trouble with that way.
Yeah, no, not at all. So these are our pick'ems. We'll put them on the screen for you guys. We'll just do it in post production because haven't quite figured out podcast to do. It's literally just us at the moment. So we'll put that in post production for you guys. But this is, speaking of lock-in, first VCT of the year, first event. First time we will see Binding Breeze not in the map pool, Lotus and Harbour, Split coming back, and Pearl in like proper like setting with top tier Valorant gameplay.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've seen Peril coming in from Game Changers, which was phenomenal watching sort of G2 navigate through that map, which is where they won. I want to say won quite convincingly. Obviously, we've seen it previously as well with the PRX spot from Jing's satchel into the rocket launcher down to get some kills, but we've had some changes since then, and it's definitely one that's going to be seen. It's been around for a lot longer, so how does the meta kind of swift change towards that as opposed to just first introduction, everyone's kind of playing just off a scrim based, but like you said, now Bind and Breeze going away is quite big. I feel like Bind, especially with Fnatic having that 77% win rate that I know you're enamoured by, so how does that kind of sorry, I've lost the word. How does it affect like, their kind of map pool and rotation of what they want to play is going to be a very interesting one to say the least.
So if I'm thinking about Fnatic on Bind, they had just obviously absolute domination. 77 win rate is an incredible stat to have. I also think 100 Thieves were very, very good on Bind as well. But with it being removed, I'm not sure how this is going to affect, because you've obviously got Leo and Chronicle coming into Fnatic, so it could help bolster the stats on Ascent, where they were kind of lacking a bit, especially with Chronicle, not Chronicle, Leo being that sort of initiator role, which Ascent we know is really informational. Like you have to know where people are so you can push them to site correctly, because it is such tight chokehold points. The defenders do have a bit of an advantage on that map. And it is sort of like Bind in the sense that you are just have sort of like a wall of entry points with two different chokeholds and you just go straight in. But yeah, I think Split, I think Fnatic will be really, really good on Split. Alpha is an incredible player. He's a Sentinel main. I think Killjoy is a massive meta at the moment. And Durkot on the Jet as well on Split, I think can do some naughty things. I think he's going to be a really highlight. Those two players will be massive. And Boaster, looking at his Omen and Astra, I would expect him to play Omen. I know he loves Astra, but I think Omen's best suit for Split in this is you've got flashes and TPs out of the way. So I think they'll do well. So I'm expecting them to do. I'm expecting them to do quite well in Split.
But
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Cypher is probably my favourite sort of Sentinel to be playing over Split. However, I say that, I think, for me, looking back at competitive Valorant and kind of what drew me into it, if I'm being really honest, was Paper Rex on Split. And this is going back a long time ago. I remember that the first genuine team that I was looking at watching these games, and just the raw aggression they were able to take. They were running the double duelist. It was Jing and Forsaken, double satcheling up through mid. And it was just incredible to watch. So for me, Bind and Breeze being removed, bringing Split back in is a joy for me. Like, Split is genuinely one of my favourite maps. I think there's such a good chance in sort of different metas, although it does very much become just going down mid control. I mean, all maps just base off of mid control really when you look at sort of how exactly it works. But that's just a touch of my Split opinion. And then obviously we have Lotus coming in, which I don't think we've yet to see much come through from people. We've seen PRX mess around with Harbour, but that was on Icebox.
Yeah.
And they worked it throughout pretty much the whole India invitational tournament as well. And I mean, they won it, right? So they have some stuff with Harbour, whether that's them just screwing around, having a bit of fun, is definitely a different question. So whether we see that come in or not, I wouldn't be expecting to see Harbour come in. I would love to see it, but I don't really expect to see it. But Lotus is the one where we see the new 3 site come in with very similar to Haven. and it feels to me very attacking from both sides. I think we've seen the Riot developers and Valorant developers try to make maps that are attacking, feeling on the defender side with Fracture before, having sort of the space for the defending team, to take into that space, whereas I think Lotus plays into that a little bit more hidden wise in terms of the pushes that you get from the defending sides that we've seen develop so far.
Yep.
Kind of plays through that, but like I said, yeah,
down that A main is just absolute bloodbath, absolute chaos. The raised nades are insane. So are you expecting more of an attacking style comp on Lotus then? With Raze?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to see a lot of slow stuff. I think I wouldn't be surprised, and we're both going to love what I'm about to say. I genuinely think that Yoru is a great pick on this map.
Yep.
We are both Yoru stans, and I genuinely think that the TP ability that obviously you've kind of lost from Chamber since the sort of nerf that came through on Chamber's TP ability. I think Yoru picks it up perfectly with able to, although it is a fast rotation map anyway, you can set your TP down at A and then you can run to C site, hold it from there, TP back, you can TP from A into attacker side spawn. There's all sorts of ways that you can make your way around that map very efficiently. Neon, I think, could be very useful as well. Once again, just the pace of being able to adapt throughout it. I've not seen it fully utilised yet, but KO's flashes, although it's not quite a fully speed thing, I think it can be very useful there as well. And obviously your Omen and Astra can come in. So I mean, it could be a decent map for Fnatic as well, actually, if I'm being honest. Just talking through that, you've got the Astra / Omen for Bolster.
Yep.
Jet, obviously fast paced agent. You've got that for Derka. Alpha Year, you could be holding down Cypher or Killjoy on site. Yep. It could very much work for Fnatic, but we will have to wait and see on that. But what's your opinion on it?
I think looking into the composition, I think I'm really expecting to see Killjoy. I don't know whether it's going to be Astra or Omen. I would actually prefer an Astra on this map because you have such a large, you have 3 sites, and it allows you to kind of put your things out there a lot, like Haven. And I know Boaster prefers Astra on Haven rather than Omen, so I'm expecting them to play the Astra. I think a KO is a must. I think some of the knives are absolutely nutty. I think a Molotov, especially with the B site, having Killjoy Molotovs as the Suck and the KO Molotovs would absolutely destroy a team going into there. Yoru, potentially, I love him, but on this, your points are completely correct in the sense that you have fast TPs, but as you mentioned, it's a fast rotation map. So I was thinking, I personally would rather have a Raze over a Yoru. I love the plays with Yoru where you can just kind of push down A main, hide behind that little rock, and then get killed, TP out, and you've got a man advantage, and it's an incredible play. But if you have like a Raze nade, you don't even need to push. You can just put damage into the team, put Raze nade out, come back, play onto site, kind of hold back, and then if they don't go there, you have K knife, get some information, you then push on the back of it. And I think being explosive onto site, you do need a Raze satchel. I wouldn't play more than one duelist, which is why I'm saying a Raze over Yoru in this case.
Yeah, of course.
But I think Yoru is a very good pick. I think Yoru will come into the meta soon, in the sense that on the defending side, he can. Hopefully, we can.
Hopefully.
So just pushing like Ascent. I absolutely love playing him on Ascent because you can just push down these mains and then just get a kill, TP back. You can lurk, get a kill into A main, TP back to B main where your team is, and then you've got the defenders don't know where you are. You've got a kill, you put doubt into their minds. They can't over rotate into the site, so you get a nice easy take. So for me, Yoru will come in, but just not on Lotus just yet.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah. We also have Pearl coming in as well, which I watch quite a lot with the Polaris events. I don't know if you have Veggie, but I think you have. Who are you expecting to see based on the comps we've seen so far?
I mean, I just want to say Yoru again because of G2. You know, I've spoken about the Game Changer tournaments. Yoru is just always in my head.
I won't disagree with you on this one. I think Yoru is a pick.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we're expecting probably. I mean, you've seen quite a mix of controllers. I think Omen's really strong on here. I'd expect to see Omen coming in quite a lot. Probably either. I think Cypher can be really strong as well, especially holding down that that long. I forget what site it is. I think I want to say B. I know it's A, right? Where it's, or is it B long? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the massive one, the massive, like, yeah.
Yeah, the long side, which you usually go down when you have the op. I think Cypher is really good at holding that, because you don't need to then peak that angle. You've got the camera that can set up for your traps. I think Sage, overuse on this map, especially for once you get sight, taking sight, easy plants. You come down that long. You can then just wall yourself in, get a little bit. I hate that plant spot because it makes defending the plant a whole lot harder. I get really triggered when my teammates use it. However, it is an easy plant spot, especially if you're on an eco. Get down, put your wall in, plant safe, and then retreat back. So I think Sage very much used here. I feel like in terms of initiator, you're probably looking at Fade. I think Fade's eye is really good. Plus, you've got the sort of not the seekers, that's Sky. The dogs is what I'm going to call them. The prowler is perfect for clearing a lot of the tight angles, especially if you're pushing down mid. If you're going down link, or if you're going down sort of art, you can clear out all the little tight angles where the defenders could be sort of sitting and hiding in. And then duelist, obviously Yoru, just has to be for me especially. And then maybe you want to take another initiator like Kale. Could be quite useful, yeah.
I think a double initiator is massive. I was looking at the Palace event, and a lot of the teams they call was Fade, KO, Astra. I think Astra is a great pick in the sense that on the B site, the long B site you were saying, you can just put up a temporary smoke at the back, get the person off the angle, and then you've got stunned, all that down back with B site, that little kind of lane. I mean, it's so hard to clear without utility. So KO with the flash is really easy to clear. And the knife on defense is really nice for information. Fade, Prowler, clearing out art, clearing out mid, incredible. Now a debate I want to have is Killjoy on Cypher on Pearl, because I saw it was bloody hell, Magnum. Who does he play? He plays for. I completely slipped my mind now. The whole game I watched, I completely forgotten the team names.
What was this in? Polaris?
Polaris. It was Magnum.
Plays for Apex.
Apex. It's Apex versus Hukars. That's what it was. Apex.
Okay, yep.
So each team had a Killjoy, and the other team had the Cypher. So Magnum was playing a Cypher. And the setup, I'll put this on post-production, the setup was basically Magnum on defense would just put his tripwires either art, one would go art, one would go B link, mid, so that basically he has complete mid control, and they can both focus on basically the site, and then occasionally he would put it onto B site just to switch it up and try and catch the attackers out. Killjoy, on the other hand, from Hukars, would literally just put his utility on B, and they would have to focus mid, and more often than not, they would actually kind of lose the mid fight, and then Killjoy is completely isolated on B. So I'm making a case for Cypher over Killjoy on this map, mainly because the mid-map control is so powerful, and also with the flanking abilities, Killjoy has to be near her stuff, whereas because you're so far away, it just Cypher allows you to
I agree.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yep, I think I don't think you're going to get the debate that you wanted. Very much, I think since Chambers' nerf with how, especially with the trap, I think Cypher kind of takes that place perfectly. Like you said, you don't need to be within that vicinity for the trap to be triggered. You could be playing A, and you could have traps up on mid quite safe. You could even, if you really wanted to, trap up B and then play on A. Don't know why you would overly do that. You're not going to have that much time and setup, but it is possible. Even just looking at it for further throughout the round perspective, if you were a Cypher player that had set up on B, if you put your camera down and then you rotate over to A, because that's where the hit's coming from, and then the time dwindles down, the players, you think they're rotating, so you get to that awkward position where you're like, oh, we're in a 2 versus 2 or a 2v1, they've got spike, do we stay together and play together, or does one go to one side and one hold the other? Always play together on 2v1. But anyway, you do sometimes see the players splitting up, but with Cypher, if you've got that cam already set up on the other side of the map, eliminates that question. You can just sit in a corner, just sit on your camera, this is prime Twitch view, and just sitting with your phone up, just going, oh, look at here, just scrolling through TikTok, you know what I mean? You can just watch exactly what's going on that site, and that's what Cypher can bring to you, which I'll go with Cypher versus Killjoy.
Again, on attack as well, when they're pushing up B site, beyond that long thing, they can just chuck their cages deny lines of the site, and it's just really, really useful to get the attackers onto the site and kind of create different angles for you to take the site. The ultimate from Killjoy is insane. So the ultimate is incredible. You can literally just pop it down onto a site. You get a site for free. But what I'm really, really confused about is why the teams are playing Phoenix. Both teams had this Phoenix pick, and I'm really, really confused. I've got a clip. I'll quickly share with you, and I'll put it in post-production as well, of Phoenix. They were taking a site, and it just really confused me as to why they had this Phoenix when he did this. It just really, really confused me. I'm hoping I can get it up.
I mean, I can see the thoughts of a Phoenix. I've heard quite a few sort of higher level players justify Phoenix pick on this map with the sort of closer angles. The flashes work quite well. If you're pushing down main, the flash round the sort of double doors can be very useful. Obviously, the wall to get away, self heal, kind of almost becomes slightly better than Reyna in that aspect, where Reyna used to be that very much self sufficient duelist. I feel like Phoenix is probably taking that a little bit in as well. But so I can see Phoenix coming in, but once you get this clip up, we shall.
So I think I'm sharing it with you right now. Basically, I'll put this in my introduction. The Phoenix is going to put his. I can't play type over. I'll do it later on. Can I edit it? Can I draw? No. Basically, this Phoenix is going to put his wall up here, but they've got Astra smokes here and on the back side there as well on a site. So he's coming from art, and basically the team pushing to site. But I don't get this wall because they got the Astra smokes here, and all you're doing is just giving all this space to the defenders. Like, the Phoenix wall doesn't make sense there whatsoever. If this was a Euro, you put your flash, you bounce your flash off here, you take the space, and you utilise your Astra smokes to their full potential, and then you've got complete site control. And if you wanted to, you can even push in here. And if you get killed, you can then TP back. So this is a case for Euro over Phoenix in this instance. The ultimate for Phoenix is better because you are just basically just another part. You get one more life. You just go on site, clear it, and it's really, really useful. Euro is insane ultimate. You just basically go invisible, ping your team, get tons of information, TP back.
I think Euro's ultimate can be very much used as an initiator in senses of you can run on site, get all that info you need, and then you're fine. But
again,
it's a decent
clip
one.
here. They got both these players have now pushed up, and they can now. This guy can sit in pit, deny plant if they go for the plant. They have art control and they have this. A lot of the time they do push into the backside through with two different players. Both teams have done this, but I just don't get why this Phoenix wall was put up, because you're just not utilising Astra's smokes and you're wasting them effectively. You might as well just have the Phoenix wall, save your spots for post plant
for later. True.
Potentially just put a bit of doubt into defenders' minds, but a good team like Apex is just going to, or a good team like Who Cares, is just going to push straight through. So, really confused as to why Phoenix is being picked. And, I mean, they're still not even on site, so...
yeah. It's almost been wasted here, right?
Yeah, it's just... And then, it's just... I mean, and our Phoenix has really kind of nothing to offer, in the sense of, if you were Euro, you could put a clone out, get some information. But, I mean, Enzo's just Enzo, so he's just going to do work. He's just incredible. But yeah, look this pit player here is now just going to be such a problem. Gets a kill.
Chings,
and I think it's just... I'll just put the mute there. The flash comes out. Euro has a flash, so I don't see why you can't have Euro. And if you had Euro, you could have TP'd out there. And Who Cares gets 2 kills here, and then I think Apex win the round there. I think Enzo does a clutch here because he's an insane player.
Enzo,
one goes back, and then Haunts. He's just so he gets a spot here and then gets the kill. Incredible player.
I mean that's exactly why Fade Util's so great. Like it's just even like not that example, but like the dump of util that you can use from Fade just to help sort of push yourself through is just, in my opinion, so much supreme to the likes of Sova. Although Sova's dart's really useful, I think Fade, when you just fire those prowlers out, fire your C's out, fire your Haunt Eye out, it's so good. There's so much potential and ability to use that one. So Fade, so good.
Fade is really, really good. I think we'll talk about your next podcast because we're going
we've gone a bit over time here.
But yeah, no, we both are massive fanboys effectively. I do think it has some actual use in pro games. This pro game, it's GMT versus HMB Humble in the Italian League, which I'll showcase next podcast. Unfortunately, we don't have time, I believe. But yeah, so overall, thank you guys for watching. We'll hopefully keep on doing this. If you we keep on doing this, and see you next time. If you anything to say, Veggie?
No, just once again, thanks for listening. Obviously, today should be the 2nd of February. We're going to be looking to upload this every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe here. Check out our YouTube channel, which is probably what you're watching us on, so don't need to check that out if you're already here. But make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you subscribe on there. Follow us on Twitter. I'm sure post-production will get a nice little Twitter banner up. It's @ValAnalysts. And we will be coming to all other social media platforms soon. And let us know what you think about our opinions. Tell us how wrong we are in the comments below. And I look forward to discussing some results from matches such as Polaris and the lock-in coming up in the next couple of episodes for sure.
Bye, guys.
So bye.